The Count of Monte Cristo. In the sun-drenched port of Marseille, a young sailor named Edmond Dantès believed he was the luckiest man alive. He was about to be named captain of the grand ship, the Pharaon, and he was engaged to the lovely Mercedes, a woman he adored more than the sea itself. Edmond's future seemed as wide and promising as the open ocean. His skill and courage at sea had earned him the respect of his crew and the trust of his employer, Monsieur Morel. His heart was full of simple joy and honest ambition. But not everyone celebrated Edmond's good fortune. A man named Danglars, the ship's purser, watched him with a heart full of poison. Danglars craved the captain's position for himself and seethed with jealousy at the thought of serving under the younger, more popular Edmond. Another man, a fisherman named Fernand Mondego, was consumed by a different kind of jealousy. He was Edmond's rival for the love of Mercedes. Every smile she gave Edmond was like a dagger in Fernand's heart. He wanted her for himself, and his love had curdled into a dangerous obsession. One evening, Danglars and Fernand met in a tavern. Fueled by wine and their shared resentment, Danglars proposed a wicked plan. He drafted a letter accusing Edmond of being a traitor, a spy for the exiled Napoleon Bonaparte. Fernand, desperate to have Mercedes, agreed to deliver the treacherous note. The day of Edmond and Mercedes's wedding feast arrived, a day meant for celebration. Laughter and music filled the air as the happy couple sat surrounded by friends and family, dreaming of the life they would build together. Suddenly, the joyous celebration was shattered. The doors burst open and soldiers marched in. To the horror of everyone present, they arrested Edmond. Confused and terrified, he was torn from Mercedes's arms and dragged away, his pleas of innocence lost in the chaos. Edmond was brought before a deputy prosecutor, a man named Gérard de Villefort. Edmond, with his clear conscience, explained the situation calmly. He had only been following his dying captain's last wish to deliver a package. He was sure it was all a simple misunderstanding. Villefort was about to dismiss the case when he asked to whom the letter was addressed. The name he heard made his blood run cold: Noirtier. It was his own father, a known supporter of Napoleon. To save his own career and family name, Villefort made a terrible choice. He threw the letter into the fire, and with it, all of Edmond's hopes. Edmond was condemned without a trial. He was taken to the grim island fortress, the Château d'If, and thrown into a deep, dark dungeon. The heavy stone door boomed shut, plunging him into a silence and darkness that would last for years. Years passed. The world forgot Edmond Dantès. Hope withered and died within him, replaced by a profound despair. He forgot the warmth of the sun, the taste of food, the face of his beloved. Believing his life was truly over, he decided to starve himself to death. Just as he was about to give up completely, he heard a noise. A faint, rhythmic scratching coming from the other side of the stone wall. It was another person. The sound was a spark in the darkness, and it reignited a flicker of hope in Edmond's soul. He began to scrape back. After weeks of work, a section of the wall gave way, and a man emerged. He was an old, brilliant Italian priest named Abbé Faria, who had been trying to tunnel to freedom. He had miscalculated, but finding Edmond was a blessing for them both. The abbé was a man of incredible knowledge, and he saw the keen mind hidden beneath Edmond's despair. In the darkness of their cells, the old priest became Edmond's teacher, sharing his knowledge of history, science, mathematics, and many languages. Edmond's mind, once starved, now feasted. With his sharpened intellect, Edmond told the abbé his story. The wise old priest listened carefully and helped him connect the dots. For the first time, Edmond saw the faces of his enemies clearly: Danglars, Fernand, Villefort. His despair was burned away by a new, powerful fire, the desire for justice. As the years wore on, the abbé's health began to fail. Before he died, he entrusted Edmond with his greatest secret: the location of an immense forgotten treasure hidden on a deserted island. "Use it to reward your friends and punish your enemies," the abbé urged. When the abbé passed away, the guards placed his body in a burial sack. A daring, desperate plan formed in Edmond's mind. He moved his friend's body to his own bed and concealed himself in the sack, holding a knife he had fashioned. He prayed his gamble would pay off. He felt himself being lifted and carried, then swung through the air. He was thrown from the cliffs into the raging sea. The shock of the cold water gave him strength. He cut himself free from the sack and swam with all his might, battling the storm until he reached the safety of a rocky shore. After 14 years, he was free. After many adventures, Edmond finally made his way to the island. He followed the abbé's map to a secret cave. Inside, by the light of his torch, he found it: chests overflowing with gold, rivers of diamonds, and pearls as large as eggs. The treasure was real. He was now wealthier than he could have ever imagined. Years later, a new figure emerged in the highest circles of Parisian society: the Count. He was mysterious, cultured, and impossibly wealthy. No one knew where he came from, but everyone was captivated by him. It was Edmond, completely transformed and ready to begin his great plan. The Count first sought out news of the kind shipowner, Monsieur Morel. He found that the good man had fallen into financial ruin. Working in secret, the Count miraculously saved Morel's business from collapse, repaying the kindness Morel had shown him and his father so long ago. Next, the Count turned his attention to Danglars, who was now a fabulously wealthy and corrupt banker. The Count used his immense fortune and superior intellect to set a series of brilliant financial traps. Danglars, blinded by his own greed, walked right into them and lost everything, becoming a ruined and desperate man. Then came Fernand, who had married Mercedes and used treachery to become a celebrated general. The Count orchestrated a public inquiry that exposed Fernand's betrayal of a foreign ruler, a crime that was the source of his fortune. Disgraced and abandoned by his wife and son, Fernand was left with nothing. Finally, the Count revealed Villefort's darkest secrets, including the story of a baby he had buried alive. The weight of his crimes, brought into the light, shattered Villefort's mind. His revenge complete, the Count saw the pain it had caused. He sailed away from France, leaving his vengeance behind, hoping to find a new life of peace on the horizon.